Hello, hello! It's been a while I've posted something Payday 3 related. Well, it's technically not quite Payday 3 related, but something close. You probably remember Payday3.gg, where you usually can like create your skill builds and stuff like that. Well, it looks like we're pretty close for a skill builder, or I guess an entire planner, which has been requested a while ago. It's not live yet, so you won't see it if you visit the site yet, but I want to take the opportunity just to show what you can probably expect. So we have the planner button here. And I've already kind of like built a few things together, and as you might be able to tell, there's a lot of stats. There really is a lot of stats. And the cool thing is, like, you can literally select everything together that you want, like your entire complete build, and you can see like what changes depending on what you equip. So for instance, in regards to the skills, I think like a good showcase would be something like Fortitude of Pain as Embolia. And if you like go, for instance, to one of the weapons, I believe it's somewhere here, yeah, then you can essentially select the skill that will be activated. It's a bit buggy, so I switched to the red fox, so just ignore that. But then on the right side, you can see what changes, right? Just because I get edge, you can see the damage goes up, respectively. And with Pain and Embolia, it even goes a bit higher. So we can like activate the skills in the weapon screen to see like how it affects it on the side over here. I believe these stats, they're fairly close to being perfect at the moment, but not 100% accurate. Something with the headshot modifiers is still a bit weird to me. That doesn't make quite sense. But generally speaking, it looks pretty accurate. So you can also even like see the pattern of how you're shooting. I believe things that are missing is like the ADS hip firing and a bit of recoil related things, which are a bit tricky to calculate, as well as the movement speed. But generally speaking, it at least shows you a little bit like how the weapon functions. And I guess some of the stats are a bit more relevant and some are a bit less relevant. But yeah, that's roughly how it works. So if I would like modify even like these things, as you can see, it immediately changes the entire stats, like how much it's adding or taking away, and then essentially like showcasing it on the other side, like how much you're losing on or how much you're gaining. So that's a pretty neat kind of like thing. So you can just swap around things and you can see like how the pattern changes. So that's pretty cool. It also stores it, like it somewhat caches it in the browser. So if you revisit the page, you still have the build here, which is pretty nice. I believe we've been talking about saving these builds as well, but you won't be able to load those into the game itself, because unfortunately the API access has been a bit more restrictive, and we no longer have access to those. So yeah, we can't really like, you know, flush in the build. So that would have been one of the coolest features if you could have been doing that. So you could just literally load somebody else's build into here and then just transfer that into your game, basically. That would have been the best thing to do, but unfortunately, that's not a thing. There's also, I believe, yeah, the Interceptor and the Sociopath are still missing. But yeah, you can like even build your armor piece together, right? So you have like medtech frame, and if you modify it, you have like one plate that you can insert, for instance, the impact plate, and then you can see like the modifications over here. And so that's kind of like pretty niche. So I believe that's kind of all I really wanted to show. Just wanted to you guys to let you know that this thing is cooking up, and I hope it's gonna help in the future.